So what I'm sharing with you today is basically the result of all of my knowledge accumulated over the last 25 years or so. And here's what I've learned. If you are in the media and marketing business, we are basically in the business of interruption, right? We are in the interruption business. What does that mean? It means that you've got your consumer or your target audience on the left side trying to make their way to the content that they want to consume. Favorite song on the radio, favorite TV show, news article in a newspaper, your friend's puppy photographs on Facebook. Whatever is the content you're trying to consume, the role of brands and advertisers has been to get in the way, right? That means before we bring you that content you want, you got to go through this message that we are forcing upon you. And for almost 100 years, that was a fair exchange. That was okay. If you think about what radio costs to a consumer, or what public television costs to a consumer, or even the price of a newspaper compared to the value that you get out of a newspaper, it was pretty much a reasonable exchange, right? Interruption was a road tax that we as consumers were perfectly fine with paying. Now, what changed? Well, the digital media industry came along and ruined everything. Why did it ruin everything? Well, all of a sudden, consumers have come to expect something completely different. Now, consumers expect to get the content that they want, when they want it, anywhere they want it, even on whatever device they want to consume it on. So all of a sudden, the consumer has all the freedom, all the choice. And there's more than enough content out there for consumers. And all of a sudden, that means that expecting them to sit through a commercial on their way to the content they actually want, in many cases, is no longer a price that consumers are willing to pay. This is from one of the heads of creative of one of the biggest advertising agencies in the world. And even he says, most ads are annoying. If you want to avoid radio ads, there's Spotify Premium. If you're fed up of ads interrupting your favorite TV program, there's Netflix and Amazon. Consumers are increasingly becoming annoyed with all of this interruption. How do we know this is true? Well, we also know this is validated by how much ad blocking is growing. You now have over 600 million devices that have ad blockers installed, growing at a rate on average of 30% year on year. In APAC, it's 40%. And if you look at the reasons why people are using ad blockers, they specify that it is because of annoying ad formats. And even though we have now entered the digital age, many of us who are in digital marketing are still in the interruption mindset. Raise your hand if you use Facebook. Keep it up if you watch videos on Facebook. Keep it up if you have seen your 2-minute video interrupted by an ad in the middle of it. And keep your hand raised if you find that an acceptable user experience. No, it's shit, right? It's awful. It is the worst user experience. And yet, this is still accepted as acceptable currency. So why is that, right? So my challenge is this. If you are a marketer who is all about interrupting and pushing messages at your target audience, and if you're still thinking in terms of campaign-based marketing strategies, my challenge instead is to create content that genuinely interests your target audience. So instead of interrupting, you're providing them something that they're genuinely interested in, that they consume on their own, willingly. So you're not pushing messages, you're pulling them into the value of your content. And instead of being simply campaign-based, you have now got a content-based marketing strategy.